everyone, and welcome to Life and IT Project Management YouTube channel, where we break down the project management behind solutions impacting life. On this nugget, we will dial back a bit to ensure aspiring project managers out there are brought up to speed. We do get questions on the fundamentals of projects, and we'll be addressing those on this call once and for all. The questions include: what is a project? What exactly do project managers do? And what does project management truly entail? We have covered these previously with guests, but this is meant to coalesce the main points into one nugget. So, first question: what really is a project? A project is defined as a temporary endeavor with a defined beginning and end aimed at achieving a specific goal or delivering a unique outcome. Note the key traits. Number one, projects are temporary. They have a beginning and they have an end. Projects are unique. They deliver something new or improved. They are not routine operations. And typically, projects are structured. They do require planning, resources, and coordination. An example would be developing a fitness tracking app. The project ends once the app is launched, but that's broken into small iterations. Build the login feature, build the user profile page, build the workout tracking feature, and so forth. Now that we have defined what a project is, let's move on to what project management is. Project management is defined as the application of 1, knowledge, 2, skills, 3, tools, 4, techniques to project activities so we deliver desired outcomes. More on what each of these entails shortly, but in simple terms, project management turns ideas into deliverables. This benefits new entrepreneurs as well as established portfolio leads. Next, not everyone is innately gifted with the ability to manage complex projects. So there are established approaches called delivery approaches. In project management, the delivery approach refers to the method or framework used to guide how work is structured, delivered, and reviewed. Think of it this way: there is a way to build a house, but there are ways to manage the work of building the house. Framework. All right? Now, what are those approaches or frameworks? Typically, 1, waterfall. Waterfall, also referred to as traditional, will be best in situations where you have projects with well-defined requirements and minimal expected changes. Then you only require a linear sequential approach where each phase is completed before the next one begins, and outstanding features seem to fall to an endpoint. Hence, reason for the term waterfall. This is, of course, like I said earlier, also called traditional way of managing projects. Traditional for short. 2, agile. When you have projects with some unclear requirements, even if they do have some aspects that are clear, have been done before, but they do have some unclear requirements, you might want to go by an incremental, careful, flexible approach where you go to the sponsor or stakeholders as frequently as is required to get feedback so that the project doesn't veer left. That is agile. Agile framework is ideal for dynamic projects with some unclear requirements. Then we have a third approach. When a project blends aspects of both agile and waterfall, using waterfall for planning and governance while adopting agile for execution, that is referred to as hybrid approach. Hybrid delivery models are increasingly popular, especially in large enterprises where different teams or systems require flexibility in some areas, structure in other areas. Next, let us speak to the 5 phases of value delivery, regardless of the approach. Now, as frameworks evolve, we anticipate new frameworks will emerge. No matter what happens, fundamentally, every project will have desired outcomes, of course, delivered through 5 essential phases. 1, initiation. This is where, of course, you get to define the vision, you get to populate a business case, clarify a delivery approach to initiate the project. 2, planning. This is where you build a solution delivery roadmap, with stakeholders of the project. 3, execution. Of course, this is where you deliver value incrementally. 4, monitoring and controlling change. This is where we ensure solutions delivered meet an acceptance criteria the sponsor and stakeholders have defined. Of course, so the project doesn't veer left. Lastly, closing. This is where you hand over delivered scope, take sponsor sign-offs, so you're not liable for problems, bugs, fixes beyond a period. Now, these 5 phases will always be the way you deliver all sizes of value, whether in 2-week increments or 1 month or longer. Now that we have covered what a project is, what project management is, what delivery frameworks are, let us get to the main driver of all of this, the project manager. So, what exactly does the project manager do? A project manager leads and coordinates all the moving parts of a project, from initiation to planning, execution, closing. The analogy my friend Andy Kaufman would use is, think of the project manager as a conductor of an orchestra. They do not play instruments, but they ensure everyone plays in harmony, on cue, in sync to accomplish the overall beautiful music created. Also, my friend Gregor Nicholas broke down the key responsibilities of a project manager, and they can include validating the project scope and objectives, identifying and managing stakeholders, creating timelines with the team, tracking progress and managing risks, communicating consistently, of course, ensuring project closure and handoff, whether by phases or at the end of the project. Now, what skills does this conductor of this beautiful music need to have? Project managers need some technical skills, yes, and some soft skills. My friends Dmitry Lenkov, Adriana Marshall, and Bruno Morgante have covered this, and we have also covered this on our 8-minute ITPM series. When we say project management is about knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques, here's the breakdown. Knowledge implies knowledge of the industry the solution is built for. Helps with identifying some requirements where they are missed. PMs don't need to be experts, but care enough to understand how specifics work. Skills imply skills in leadership, communication, problem solving. You will coordinate technical folks. You should know how to listen and be curious, of course. Tools imply tools to help with schedule, risk, and dependency management. You will be creating something that looks like a Gantt chart using any good project management software out there. Techniques imply the frameworks discussed earlier, whether it's agile, waterfall, or hybrid. Overall, remember, skills are honed through training and practice. Just like athletes or artists, project managers are always refining their approach. Now, let us move on to knowledge application. Whether you're running a small internal move or a global rollout, scaling your delivery approach to the size of your project and compliance requirements of your enterprise is a skill that expands with experience. Small project, you still need tasks, owners, dependencies defined, due dates, and tracking, but no need to overkill with frameworks. Knowing what aspects of a framework to choose based on your enterprise's standards and the project's needs, of course, is what is called tailoring. The core principle here is be nimble, yet thorough. Keep your projects away as much as possible. Keep your projects away from bureaucracy. Now, would you encounter problems? Sure. And those may impact your success. Expect them. And Kaufman have spoken to this. Major killers of project success include 1, missed stakeholder engagement. Of course, that's number 1. Be aware that a stakeholder is anyone who might be affected or perceive themselves to be affected by the success of your project. And that includes anyone behind impacted applications, technology, infrastructure, operations, including sometimes legal or corporate communications of an enterprise. in some cases. Not identifying the right people early on leads to misalignment and delays, and of course, cost implications. The second killer, as pointed out by Andy, Don Meehan, and Mike Lyons, include risk denial, basically. Ignoring risks doesn't mean they disappear, of course. Risks are requirements. Identifying and dealing with them early on or having a plan for them is very important. These requirements can be very costly. The best PMs are proactive, not reactive. They ask questions, they involve people, and they prepare for what could go wrong before it does, of course. In closing, whether you are an aspiring project manager or a seasoned leader, mastering these responsibilities is key to delivering results. Overall, if you found this video helpful, hit the like, subscribe buttons. Let us know in the comments. What phase are you on in your project management or leadership journey? Career kickstart, career advancement, or leadership? Do you need a partner supporting your journey? We can connect you to the guests we have invited to speak on various topics based on your need. However, if you want to connect with us or support us, click the links in the description. See you on the next episode. Thank you.